Good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of On the Table. I'm your host. My name is Chimweka, or simply Chimweka, aka Chile 3. Now I know it's a different location from what you're probably used to. No table this time around, but definitely the conversations that are on it will be held on the show here today. Now the reason why we're here at East Park Mall is because I will be hosting the team from Icon Zambia. That's the music talent search show. We're supposed to have all 5 of them, but we're down to 3. And well, we'll talk about that and much more as I host David Kazadi, Ruth, Ronnie, as well as Wezi. Here's what you look out for on the show today.
There was a whole hoorah around it. Oh no, Kazadi's this, Kazadi's that. There was an entire industry that came against me, and there were people who said, we're going to help him. Okay? Where is he?
But there's also certain ways you can deliver news to people, obviously, keeping in mind that we're all human. But for me, I'll tell you the truth straight up.
David, have you been rejected before?
Of course.
What were you rejected for?
I get rejected for a lot of things.
For me, personally, I feel like it's too early for us to say that because most of the talented people are scared. So, they are known.
Allow me to welcome my guests in that order: David Kazadi, Ruth, Ronnie, Wezi. Welcome.
Thank you.
I was telling the team before we actually started that I don't think we'll be all 5. I knew. Didn't I say? Didn't I?
Oh yeah? Who do you think was going to miss?
Definitely balance.
But why? Why balance? Balance is usually on time.
Really? Yeah. No, I've been calling Ballard for something else. He picks up the calls, but doesn't show up.
Talk to me.
He knows.
Yeah,
he knows what I'm
Talk to
talking
his
about.
granddaughter.
Talk to me.
Who else? Okay, I had a feeling Wezi would be here. A bit later than usual, but I knew Wezi would be here. Ruth, good to see you. Ruth seems very quiet today.
She hasn't eaten. She's hungry.
I'm sure David can make a plan. I mean, there's some wine over here, maybe.
She doesn't drink, you know that.
You're going to mess up my brand
Let's get straight into it. I'll start with you, David.
You're going to miss up my bad deals. Done. She doesn't drink.
Don't say that.
Let's talk about the Icon show. I'll start with you, David.
Yeah.
Let's talk about where the idea of having this show came from. Let's start from there.
It's always been brewing in the back of my mind. Because obviously, Britain's got talent. South Africa's got idols.
Yeah.
And I think a few other countries have idols and so on and so forth. So it's always been in the back of my mind that Zambia has so much talent and there's not enough of it being exported or sort of showcased to the rest of the world. And I've always wondered why. Do you know what I mean? And then there was an advent where there was like a plethora of record labels just being born and, you know, people are getting signed left, right and center. So when we opened our label and we did what we did with Mordecai and C4 and Miss Gray, we started getting the same sort of attention. A lot of people were like, please sign me, please sign me. And at that time, I mean, I was learning as I was doing. So I was just like, I really can't sign the whole world because I'm also trying to understand how these things work. So when it came to a point where I knew enough to be able to open the doors to other artists, I teamed up with a team at WADA. And I was like, guys, let's do a talent show. And they were like, yeah, right, you know, let's do it. So it evolved quite drastically because for me, I just wanted to have a bunch of people sitting in, they sing, they rap, and then we pick a thing. But then the brains at Waters were like, how about we expand it to make it a bit more entertaining and global and something that the rest of the world can enjoy from Africa. And that's how the Icon came to be.
Being a judge, and you're coming across so much talent, and you have to be a judge, you know, and you have to make a decision at the end of it all. What is it like just making that decision on what happens next for the contestants?
I mean, at the end of the day, there's a lot at stake with this show. The winner is getting like very life-changing things that are going to be offered to them. So we do have to give it to someone who's talented enough and someone who can handle having all those things. So this is a job that has been bestowed upon us, and me personally, it's something that I take very seriously because this is not stuff to play with.
That is true.
So what you decide can either make or break that person or waste the opportunity, which is something that definitely none of us would want to do. So it's in as much as we're human and we have feelings. We might feel bad for someone because of their story. At the end of the day, we need to be very, very realistic with the decisions we're making. So ultimately, I don't have a problem making a decision when it comes to it. Yeah.
But what is it like for you, Wezi? And you having been in the industry for some time, you've probably seen this, people getting rejected from record labels or whatever, and still they make it big afterwards. So now you're the judge, and you could be that person who could say no to somebody or turn down somebody, and it's potential you didn't see.
Yeah. I am one of those people that were
Yeah.
rejected, whatever, told you don't look the part, you don't sound the part. I was one of those people. And it's very important because I'm not the type of person that will resent you for telling me that I am not what you're looking for. It gives me the motivation to create a platform for myself to show you that I am worthy. You know what I mean? So there was nothing like me before. And it was up to me to either conform or create something like me, make it acceptable. So for anybody that is quote unquote rejected, it gives them an opportunity to give us something that has never been acceptable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it's an opportunity for both the people that make it and the people that don't make it.
Yeah. I'm guessing from...
And
you
to add on what she said, that actually even makes it easier for us because we know people often get motivated from different types of things. You never know that rejection might even be the push that they need to go further in their life and their career. So everything has its own time. Not everyone can make it at the same time. So we see potential in these people. Just because we reject them at that time doesn't mean we don't believe they can make anything of themselves in this life or the next.
I don't know if David can say the same thing. I don't know if David can say the same
About
thing.
what? Rejection?
In this life or
that
the
people
next.
can't make it after.
No, 100%. Listen, and just to clear it up, yeah, a lot of people watch that video in the wrong context, okay? Which is funny, but again, it's part of the showbiz. If you watched clip for clip, that in its entirety, what I said to this fella, who's now gone to become a sensation, you know, which is weird to me. But what I specifically said, there's a Facebook, yeah, rejected artist by Kazadi.
Oh,
and,
really?
Yeah, I think it was something like
Sorry,
that. Yeah.
So what I specifically said to him was, you're not a good rapper, okay? That was a matter of fact, and I was speaking as an executive. I sit and listen to rappers every day. So what I said to him is this: you're probably a good writer, but you're not a good rapper, okay? So for me, David Kazadi, to present you with $1 million contract is something you're not going to get in this life or the next. I was speaking about me. Then I further went to say, if I were you, because he gave us a whole story about how 4 years ago you got told the same thing and la. So I said to him, if you got told the same thing 4 years ago and you're coming 4 years later, then you should probably listen to the advice, because no one organizes these shows for sympathy. No one organizes these shows to feel sorry for you. So I said, if I were you, I would focus on writing, but you're not the front man, okay? It's been, 6 weeks since that episode, 6-7 weeks, okay? There was a whole hoorah around it. Oh no, Kazadi's this, Kazadi's that. There was an entire industry that came against me, and there were people who said, we're going to help him, okay? Where is he? Where is he? If I was so wrong, why has no one signed him? Why is the no record deal offered to him? And why has the noise simmered down all of a sudden, because you can actually see talent now? So is he talented? Maybe, but just not. He wasn't talented enough to be able to make the cut for an icon.
I mean, okay, so, Wezi, because you've experienced that before, and with how he conveyed the message, was he okay with that? Was he okay with how he conveyed the message? What do you think?
Everyone is entitled to their own opinions, and I think that we sign up for these things when we walk into audition rooms. That's my answer.
So meaning those who also rejected you were justified, and then
they're entitled, because if I'm walking into an audition room, I'm not going there for yeses, right? I'm going there to showcase who I am, and I'm going to be at the mercy of whatever. I am putting myself through that. I'm giving consent. Yes, I'm giving consent to be criticized. You see why I don't post like pictures of my siblings on social media?
Yeah.
Because I'll be giving people consent to comment about my family, and I don't want that. So I'll give you things. I'll give you flip-flops. You have conversations about my flip-flops. Okay? So if I'm taking myself to the icon, I am presenting myself to David Kazadi. I'm consensually giving myself that experience. And it's not a guaranteed pleasant.
Yeah. Yo, brother.
It's a bit of proper.
Ruth, would you give your honest opinion like that? Maybe I haven't seen it yet, but do you like filter your honest opinion?
Mm-hmm. I want to hear this. I want to hear this.
Do I filter my honest opinion?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
But Ruth is a very compassionate person.
I mean, yes,
Sometimes.
I am compassionate, but I'm also blunt.
Yes.
But filtering, no. But there's also certain ways you can deliver news to people, obviously, keeping in mind that we're all human. But for me, I'll tell you the truth straight up. There's been contestants that came in, like this one time, that someone was very clearly tone deaf. I just told them up straight, I think you're tone deaf. And it was a very, very interesting situation because it was her birthday as well.
No.
So I had to deliver that news to her. So
On her birthday.
yeah, she
On
went
live
all
television.
day to audition.
Yeah.
David can laugh at that. There's a problem here. There's a problem.
Yeah, but I feel like we need to be very honest with people.
It helps.
If someone can't sing, they can't sing. If someone can't do something, being honest with them is a kindness you can do to them. Instead of them wasting their time believing in something that possibly won't go anywhere, it's better to be honest with them. If they can improve, well and good, constructive criticism. But yeah, honesty is the best policy for me.
So I'd like to find out what each one of your interests are from an artist. Is it the vocals? Is it how they look? Looking at star quality, their presence in the room? Let me start with you, Wezi. I'll start with you, Wezi.
Wait, so let's go.
We can start with you, innit?
He's throwing it back at me. I love it.
He's sharp.
Looks are not everything, and for me, I'm an artist. I see beauty in strange things. So what another person can see as unpleasant could be very pleasant in my eyes, and I've accepted that about myself. So when it's never like a priority because I've understood how superficial and shallow people can be when discussing looks. And for me, I like supporting things that are undeniable. You know what I mean? Anywhere you go, if talent is talent, whether you're in Spain, or in Zambia, or you're in Germany,
There's one standard.
That's what I'm looking for. Someone that will go to all these places, to Brazil, do a festival, and people be like, that's a strong vocalist. You see? That's what I'm looking for in the icon. Yeah.
Okay, so vocals.
Yeah.
Ruth?
Vocals, that's what you picked up from there.
After
You might have
everything
said
she
vocals.
But that's what she said at the end.
It's me, Chimweka.
She said strong vocals.
Wow. Okay, so basically, for me, what I'm personally looking for is someone who can be molded into an icon. So they already have to have the potential in all the areas that make up an icon and be able to learn and be molded into a superstar. So it's vocals, you name it, everything else. If you're gonna get someone who can sing but is not teachable or doesn't have a good work ethic, there's nowhere you can go with someone like that. So it's a bit of everything mixed together.
Okay. David?
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. So my perspective is just, slightly different in that I agree with everything they've said. I just, an icon to me is someone who cuts across the ponds, It's not just someone who will be, he's big in Zambia, and the moment you get on a plane to Zimbabwe, not even anywhere outside of Africa, he's completely relevant, or she's completely relevant. I think for a long time, we've had a very small pool of artists who managed to attain iconic status, and it's been a very tiny pool. Artists who can sing in Zambia, Zimbabwe, Malawi, London, Germany, and people are still like rushing and be like, oh my God, this is great. So the reason I even got involved in this is because I'm a big, firm believer or pusher of the Zambia Kuchalo mantra. And if the icon uncovers someone who can be the embodiment of Zambia Kuchalo, then that's basically iconic. Because when I'm here and I'm listening to music, and you know we're we're caught up in the local buzz, it's fun, it's exciting, it's all of that stuff. But when I'm in the UK, nobody cares. And I don't say this with prejudice. Like, nobody genuinely cares. The UK has its own superstars. When I'm in Nigeria, same thing. Nobody cares. We recently did a feature with a Nigerian artist, and again, it's part of my learning curves. You know, I thought, oh, we've done a feature with a Nigerian artist.
As in Mordecai?
Yeah, one of my artists, Mordecai. And, you know, we're going to blow up in Nigeria. No! Bruv, Nigeria has so many upcoming artists, so many established artists, and so many established artists that they're not going to spend a penny to push your Zambian brand. So if we don't push it as Zambians and basically force things, is what people say, then we're not going to achieve iconic status. But to have iconic status, it's everything they've said. It's talent, it's character. Because unfortunately, some of our artists don't make it not because they don't have talent, because they have a rubbish character, just a completely disgusting character. And they find themselves in spaces
Thank you for censoring that.
they find themselves in spaces where they should be bigger than they are, but because they have such a stinking Peppa Pig character that no one really wants to invest money in them, no one wants to invest time in them, and then they basically plateau. You know, there's a constant, I don't know if you've noticed, like there's a constant rise. They go up, maybe they buy a few Mark X's and and then they vanish. But, you know, in more developed countries, or just across the pond, you know, go to Zimbabwe, artists are driving Rolls Royces and it's a normal thing. It's not like, oh my God, I've got it. It's a normal thing. So if we...
Here with artists who drive crews, right?
What is a crew?
A Land Cruiser.
Oh, that's the thing? Okay. Anyway, my point...
What does Mordecai drive?
What does Mordecai drive?
Yeah.
Ask him.
I mean, yeah.
No, ask him.
Yeah, his executive, his manager.
Catch him one of these days.
We invite him on the show.
Catch him one of these
days.
Yeah. So the notion of finding an icon is beyond talent. I think an icon is beyond legendary status, right? Because you're like a legend and you're an icon. Is it the other way around? I'm not sure.
I think it's the other way.
Is it the other way around? You're an icon and you're... I don't know. But the idea is you want something that's bigger than life. Yeah.
Let's take a break. After the break, we continue our conversation here with the judges of the Icon Zambia.
If you're signed under my record label, I don't care who and what you think you are, yeah? The truth of the matter is...
Then you're not really creating space for people to break through.
I'm not paying for you to have space.
For me, personally, I feel like it's too early for us to say that, because most of the talented people are scared.
Yeah, but that's what it is. That's what they said. I was so dumb that academics and school was not a thing that I should pursue.
They just want a specific type of success for an artist, a specific type of artist. So everything else that's happening, they don't look at that as growth in our industry. They just pay a blind eye.
Welcome back. You're still watching On the Table. I'm hanging out with the Icon Zambia judges, David Kazadi, Ruth, Ronnie, and Wezi. Before the break, we were talking about what you're looking for, but we also talked about rejection. David, have you been rejected before?
Of course.
What were you rejected for?
I get rejected for a lot of things.
Women? Have you been rejected by a woman?
I think I have. Being rejected by a woman or someone. I don't know. But that's not the important part. Let me answer the important part of life. Why are we talking about women? So here's what people don't realize, no? You don't become successful without having attained or undergone rejection. In fact, rejection makes you a lot stronger than a lot of success. If your life is an accumulation of successes, then you're not a complete person, because the rejections make you whole. Okay? When I was leaving high school after my A-levels, my headmaster called my parents, both of them. You know when the headmaster calls you, it's a serious thing. My head teacher said to my parents, and hear me clearly, that we think your son is educably mentally retarded. Do you know what that means?
How did you understand it?
No, that's not how I understand it. What it is. Educably mentally retarded to a 16-year-old is a thing that can literally destroy the rest of your life. Because up until that point, the only thing I knew was what my teachers opinion was of me. They give you assignments and they do that. So to sit there, not just with your teachers, but with your headmaster saying that they believe you are educably, mentally retarded, which for those of you who don't understand simply means you are beyond dumb. Like you are the dumbest of all dum-dums that you...
But isn't that only like, it's not just... Isn't that just like from the academics?
Yeah, but that's what it is. That's what they said. I was so dumb that academics and school was not a thing that I should pursue. In fact, they even gave my parents a suggestion. They said, you're better off having him try to do bricklaying, which is, what do you guys call bricklaying? It's bricklaying, isn't it? Or sewing. I remember these things vividly. Bricklaying, sewing, or what was the other? Oh yes, plumbing or sculpturing. Okay? Those are the options. Now, you have to understand, I come from an academic family. Okay? My dad is a cardiologist. My mom is a top lawyer. So, for them, it just didn't make any sense. Like, what do you mean our son is dumb? Do you know what I mean? So, as per usual, you go through the motions. Now, if I were weak-minded, that would have been it. Okay? I have degrees and masters. I went to law school, I went to business school, I went to med school, I did film production. So I mean, like, I've got so many different accolades that if I stood around and believed what they said and made it Bible, I wouldn't be sitting here today. That was rejection number one, or the one that's most prominent. Rejection number two, why are you laughing?
Is Wezi okay?
I don't know. She's smoking rice or something. So rejection number two, when I went to uni, and I told my, so there's a thing that we do as one of our graduation module. It's called Design Futures. And the premise of it is, design the sort of future you want to have, and if it's believable, you pass. If it's not, you fail. Okay? It was one of those big modules. So I designed my future. And in that future, I had designed and said, by 2019, that's what I said, no, 2020, that's what I said. By 2020, I'll come back to Zambia, and I'll set up a production company, I'll shoot major film production companies, and I will revive the Zambian film industry. It is in my design module. And if you go on my TikTok, you probably see a video to that same effect. They failed me that module. Because they said, how are you going to go to a place that you left when you were 5 years old? Like, do you know what I mean? It was unpractical. Everything that they said I wouldn't do, I've done. Okay? Rejection number 3, 4, 5, 6. In business, you do a pitch, you do this, you do that. So I'm not a stranger to rejection. But then the one that stands out the most comes actually from my uncle. Okay? So I always thought I was...
The uncle we know?
Yes, Oscar. So I always thought I was a footballer. Yeah? I believed I was a strong footballer. And one time in the UK, I came from training and I had my football boots on and everything. And, you know, I'm coming back and I'm tired. And he's looking at me because he's always fixing a car or something. So he's like, young man, where are you coming from? I'm like, I'm coming from football training. He's like, why? Literally, like blood. Why are you coming from football training? I'm like, no, because I'm trying to work out. I want to be able to try out to, you know, to play for one of these football clubs. Here's what he did. He looked at my legs. He looked at me and he said, young man, you will not be a footballer. Those aren't football legs. And I was like, what do you mean? And understand, this is my dream. You know, I want to be a footballer because everyone's a footballer. It's like, I know footballers and you're not one of them. And if you keep working at this football thing, you're going to waste the rest of your life. And you probably are wasting something that you should be doing by doing something you shouldn't be doing. It hurt, it was painful, but it was true. I didn't have football legs. I was never going to be Barbara Banda, okay? And in that moment, my attention shifted into something I'm actually good at. So in life, whether we like to believe it or not, yeah, life is not a Nigerian movie. We have callings. There are things that are part of your calling that God, in his infinite wisdom, equips you with. Like, you are what you are because that's what God wanted you to be. So while you can deviate and try to do other things and stuff like that, there's one thing, or probably even two, that you'll be good at. So when we tell people the truth in these platforms about you're not a singer, it's not because we hate you, it's because we're trying to help you focus on what you're actually good at. And not everyone is an executive. I'm an executive sitting on an executive board. Ruth is a singer. Wezi is a singer. If I try and sing, what am I doing?
Do phones ring also on the icon set?
No, they don't.
They don't.
No, they don't.
What is it like?
She's a businesswoman.
Does he also preach when you're on set and off recording? Because he said talking about God and he went all out. Are you used to this by now, Wezi?
Yes.
Yeah? You seem to enjoy it because you had a lot of laughs and a good time.
It's the first time we're hearing this story.
Yeah.
Really? Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's an exclusive even for the guests who are here. Like they're hearing for the first time.
Yeah.
But what's been your experience with rejection?
Well, I think back in the day, just like Wezi, I think I auditioned for a couple of singing talent shows, and it's just the same story. I think that's even like a rite of passage for most artists to pass through those auditions. I saw Abel Chungu talking about it as well on online the other day. So it's not something you're supposed to take to heart. It's not something that you should let destroy your dreams. Like, just keep going. You know yourself, you know what you want. Keep pursuing it if you truly, truly believe you can make it. So yeah, I've been through things like that. And the same people who rejected me years later came knocking on my door for features and, oh, I need you to do this and that. So it's just, I think that's just the way life works. It happens.
Was this like record labels? You mentioned a talent show?
Yeah, I've been on like one talent show, I think, back in the day, way, way back. But they're not record labels, it's just a talent show.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
What talent show was this?
Well,
Well,
Talent Yabazet, I think.
The one that Mordecai won.
yes.
You lost against Mordecai.
Yeah, there was
I
season
don't
1 and
even
2.
know if
Yeah.
Oh, there was more
which
seasons.
one it was. I went to one of them, but then yeah, I made it to I don't know what stage. Oh, apart from that, I also auditioned for Big Brother Africa at some point.
Really?
Yes, I made it to like way, way, way up there in the auditions, and then they chose. I think that's the time they chose Market 2 or something. Yeah, but I didn't let that destroy me.
Yeah.
I still went on to build my brand and do everything I love. So, yeah.
I can imagine Ruth running the Big Brother Africa house.
Lit.
Would have been a very, very...
Interesting Big Brother show.
But even you explained that, I mean, you've seen the different sides of the industry.
Yeah.
And today, people don't really have to go through... It's not like mandatory that people go through a process of auditions for record labels or even through talent shows like Icon. There's social media now.
Yes, yes.
Do you think that is a bad thing?
No, not at all.
And I ask this because others would argue that, I mean, through social media, anyone can become like this internet sensation and have a big song. And sometimes it might not, musically, might not be the best for some people. But does that still, do you think it still makes the industry regulated where you can filter through who comes in?
I'm an artist. I do not believe in regulation, first of all.
Ask me.
Really?
Ask me. I believe in regulation.
Yeah,
Why, wait, well, let me
regulate
hear
people who are
Wezi,
on the
why?
market.
Why don't you believe in regulation?
when it comes
Come
to
on.
when it comes to music and art, I think that the greatest works of art, the masterpieces, were created by people who didn't follow the rules. When it comes to painters, songwriters, music producers, you don't do this. You don't put the hi-hat and the cymbals there. The greatest productions, the beatboxing from Michael Jackson and stuff, was breaking rules.
Yeah.
That's why we have the awesome stuff.
But don't you think that's why, again, some people say we don't even have an industry here in Zambia where, I mean, people just will do things how they want and everything just happens however it happens.
You know what I believe genuinely from the depth of my soul? We should step away from comparisons. Chimweka, there's no way that you should be looking at Jonah Dingindaba and be like, by the time I'm this age, I'm supposed to be whatever. Jonah's path is Jonah's path, your path is your path. You're both journalists, okay? Zimbabwe is a country, Zambia is a country, Botswana is a country. We need to stop looking at Nigeria. I mean, you can look at other people and look and find inspiration, okay? But to compare and say, we have to be at the same point with everybody else. We mature at different times, okay? So I believe that we have talent, we need to grow, we need mechanisms that will aid the growth, will protect the well-being of the creatives and protect also their creativity and stuff like that. All that is supposed to come in a place where creativity is actually flourishing. Okay, so however it's flourishing, if it's on the internet or it's traditional media, whatever, for me personally, I feel like it's too early for us to say that because most of the talented people are scared. So, of the unknown. Okay, so we've seen some of the most talented vocalists, and I think the first thing that comes to my mind, I don't know about everybody else, is like,
Where have you been?
Where have you been? Why? Why? Because that level of talent is not supposed to be in your bedroom. But it's
You feel
there.
they're scared of being known?
Fear of the unknown.
Oh, of the unknown.
Yes,
Okay, okay,
yes.
okay.
So I feel like when we start to say I want to be at David Kazadi's level because we are age mates or whatever, it kills the authenticity of your own path. So Zambia is its own person. Our growth, the rate at which we are growing, we need to embrace our own story as a country.
So in short, we should give ourselves as Zambian music, I don't know what we can call it, whether it's industry, whatever, we need to give ourselves more time.
Not time, we need to embrace our journey. Because, I mean, there's that, the philosophy of the Chinese bamboo. It grows downwards for many years and upwards in months, and it's the tallest in the forest, and it's the strongest, the best quality of wood. I don't know if you've heard about the Chinese bamboo. And it could be that. We could be growing downwards, and because the growth is not visible, we're not growing. You know what I mean? So we don't embrace the type of growth that's there. But I think that when we do the root work, the time will grow. It won't even take time. You get what I mean? So it's not a matter of time. It's about the quality of the growth.
I think personally in Zambia, the idea of growth and success is very skewed. The way people look at things is not broad enough. They just want a specific type of success for an artist, a specific type of artist. So everything else that's happening, they don't look at that as growth in our industry. They just pay a blind eye, even if someone is clearly making big achievements, big strides for the industry. They don't want to see that. I don't know why that is.
What do you think is like the Zambian, funny enough, David and I are having a chat before the show started, like in the corporate world, or like when people get a job, it's a Zambian dream. Like you go to school, you graduate, you get a job maybe in government, you get a loan, you buy a car, you build a house.
Be specific.
You're saying Mark X, you buy a Mark X, you build a house, you die. But so what's like? What do you think is a Zambian dream like in the music circles? Like what?
That's exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah.
We as the artists, I believe, we still have that innocence as compared to every other sector of whatever of society. We as the artists haven't been corrupt in that way. Of course, there's maybe a few other people that want to be like, oh, house, money, car, and whatever. That's all right.
There's artists that are forced to commercialize their
Yes.
music. I think we've all fallen prey to that.
That's not exclusive to Zambian music.
Yes, of course.
It's across the board. But for me personally, I feel like there's a downward growth that people don't appreciate. You have to be like a philosopher. Because for me, when I'm sitting down and I'm thinking about the days before I featured on Toliwe, where Zambian music was and where Zambian music is now, for me, who has practically been watching and participating, right? I'm more of a fan of Zambian music than I am a musician, right? So I see that downward growth, such that when we start to grow upwards, this country will produce more icons on the continent than any other country. That's what I believe.
So you don't think the downward growth can be attributed to the internet?
It's everything. It's unlimited. You see what I mean? Zambians are very sharp people. It's unlimited. So there's the icon, there's TikTok sensations, there's YouTube and whatever. There's people that are learning as they go. Okay? And then there's record labels, there's collaborations, there's ambition, and there's the dream killers.
Why did you look at me when you said that? I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Basically, you asked what what did you say?
Does the industry need to be regulated?
No, he said the ideal Zambian.
Yes, the Zambian dream in
Zambian dream
music
for
circles.
artists.
Yeah.
I think you know exactly what that is.
I don't know actually.
Yeah,
What is it?
What is it?
I don't
Yeah,
want to say it and then
know.
describe an artist.
Oh, okay, no,
bar for bar and they
one
look-
name any artist. One name. Because it could be Mordecai and then we don't want to name that.
But I don't mind.
So
you can
what
name.
I'm gonna say is, this has been the biggest thing for me. Zambians need to realize there's so many ways you can achieve success in the music industry. You don't always have to be flashy in the front, performing at the bars, weekend to weekend, having your song. There's so many things that music entails, and there's so many ways and avenues you can make it as an artist in Zambia. So there's this view that if you're not seen, if you're not the one who's there,
On the banners, on the
that means you're not
artworks,
successful as an artist. That is really, really not
it.
It's not. That's not it.
So what is, according to you?
What is success
Yes,
for an
yes,
artist?
yes.
It really depends from artist to artist.
The way that you view it, yeah.
There's people who have different goals as artists. You never know. Maybe personally, an artist will say, "I want to be someone who makes scores for movies or whatever." They'll go and venture into that industry, which is more of an international industry. They'll be making songs for movies. You probably wouldn't even hear about it over here because people here don't care about such things. There's writers. There's so many different things that you can do as an artist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
David, I saw you disagreeing when
What did you want to say?
on the aspect of regulating.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm an executive, so I'm definitely going to disagree. I agree with her perspective as an artist, and I love that perspective because when I sign an artist, okay, you get two sets of artists. You get one who's very into their art, and then you as an executive have the mandate to sort of regulate things around them so that they can make money, they can monetize, and everything else that comes into place. Then they're not polluted, and that's what she said. You said innocent, right? Like the artist, some artists innocent. So they're not polluted to the sometimes gruesome commercial world, okay, which is great and it works. But also, I can't. If I don't mention this aspect, I'll be unfair to myself, purely because in that same space, some artists have been taken advantage of, because when they don't know what they don't know, it's very easy to take advantage of them, because it's like, yeah, you do the art, we will make the money and we'll tell you how much money we've made, but there's a lot more money that we're hiding. Does that make sense? Then you get the second type of artist, which is an artist who is both artistic and commercial. So they understand their commercial viability and, you know, what money is coming from what streams, what's causing what, and they're kind of split in the middle. So, you know, so they'll do the music and then they will come and be like, yeah, I know what's owed on to me. Now, sometimes, again, using both examples, these artists don't last that long because something dies, okay? Either they become really good as business people or they become really good as artists. Something sort of tends to fall off. There are few who manage to combine both, okay? Jay-Z, Kanye, what's his name? Yeah, I mean, like, there are people who are great, and, you know, I can't think of anyone outside of those who manage to bring their artistry and business and still have a thriving career. It is not a natural thing. It's an anomaly. If you are that, God bless you, come chat to me, let's make some money. Now, why I disagree with the not regulating, and I'm not disagreeing it from an artistic perspective, I'm disagreeing with it from an industry perspective. An industry that is unregulated is fertile ground for abuse. Because if you don't know what you're worth, everyone's going to tell you what they believe is your worth. Does that make sense? And so systems have to be put in place, even though we are growing as an industry, to protect our IP, to protect our art, and to protect the growth of our industry. I come from a place where no matter how good you are, okay, there will be a blockage of entry. Okay, this is how most of these industries work, because they don't want to pollute what they've already worked so hard to build. Now, of course, Zambia is still in its infancy stage, and, you know, people are running away from certain things. But the basics of an artist is this: if you're an artist and you love your art so much, you still need to live. That means you need a house. Yeah. You need money to buy food. You need modes of transportation, whether you're using a bus, a bicycle, or a car. Okay. Now, some, taking a leaf out of her book, some want to have the extravagant stuff. Some people want to drive Maseratis. Some people want to drive Bentleys and Porsches and crews. Other people are happy with a bicycle. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't mean because you have a crew or a Maserati, you're much better than the person who's driving a bicycle. It's preferences. But for me, to answer your question of what is the pinnacle of an artist's career, it is what they envisioned, as long as they have their basics covered. If you're an artist who can't feed yourself and you can't live in a house that you're paying for, then unfortunately you haven't reached your pinnacle. And I have to disagree with anyone who disagrees with that statement, because there is no point in doing this thing and it's just paying off your internal, what's the word? I've lost the word. Like it's just internal, but you're not able to survive off of it. Then it's not a job. It's a passion. So if you are taking your art as a job, then it should be able to pay for your most basics of utilities.
But for the regulation thing, I thought they meant regulating who can be an artist or not in terms of talent.
No, that's not what they asked.
I picked it up. I think that the conversation about regulation, for me, I was talking about the creative industry, right? I wasn't talking about the business of
the industry.
I don't know if you understand what So I think we were answering
creatively
different questions.
Maybe also because there's a thin line from how I see it. Because I mean, you find that even from the creative aspect, those two fall under the industry, wouldn't they?
Yes.
Because especially if they're going to do it on a mainstream level.
Okay, so for me, I was like the literal example I can give is country music, right? Country music is not like indigenous to Zambian music, but if you're passionate about it, in what industry are you going to thrive in this place? So if you're going to regulate, like, okay, so if you're going to be an artist, these are the genres of Zambian music. Outside these, you need to go to America for you to thrive.
No, that's not what he's talking about. I think what he's talking about.
For me, that's what I was
and that's what I was trying to clear up.
Regulation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what they're saying is they don't want to be told what to do and not to do as artists. What I'm saying is, while that's okay, there are things that sell and things that don't sell, unfortunately.
Yes.
Okay?
Of course.
If you're doing, like for instance, I sing recreationally, okay, and I do it really well, okay. I'm not going to drop an album or recording contract. These guys will destroy me. You understand? So I sit on my piano and I'm stressed. I will play and I'll sing and I'll feel good. You know, it's my art working therapeutically to my life. Does that make sense? But then if I'm going to get into what we're terming the industry, then I have to play by industry rules. And industry rules negate that there are certain things that will sell and certain things that will not sell. If you're signed under my record label, I don't care who and what you think you are. Yeah? The truth of the matter is...
Why? So then you're not really creating space for people to break through.
I'm not paying for you to have space. Why am I paying for you to have space? Pay for your own space.
I'm not paying. I'm saying if you're saying people only need to follow those rules, that is very restrictive to artists. That way, you won't even get an industry that's evolving.
What Ruth is trying to say is that before I existed, I was told that the way that you're saying this is not going to sell. I'm not going to mention names, but I told you. Yes. I was
mention it.
We can't know that.
But I was told. Someone looked me in the eyes and said, "No, the lyrics you've written, the way you're singing.
Yes.
This is not for your age. This is your skin. No, you are not for the industry."
Yeah, and I get it.
And then a few years later,
you grew.
There's no Zambian award that I haven't won. It speaks to how.
But what did you do? Yeah, but what did you do? Woo! You took.
She kept going.
Fantastic.
And
so what I'm saying
true
is
and
this.
authentic to herself.
What I'm saying is this. Okay, and let's use an industry that's a bit more common. Yeah? There are rules to building houses, right? Okay, you have your bricklayers who have to sit.
You know what? The thing is, these are very invisible.
No, but hold on. Let me land. There are rules to building houses. Okay, but an artistic architect will come and break those rules to be able to fit his creative prowess. Okay, that's why you find that the building industry constantly keeps evolving. Sometimes you have houses that go this way and they go that way and they go this way. But even in your creative endeavor to build a building or a house that doesn't look like anything else, you have to have a foundation of rules that you're following, okay? Which they all follow. So just because one person managed to get a building to stand that was in this manner and not the standard uprightness doesn't mean they didn't follow a certain set of rules. And the same applies for an industry. In order for an industry to thrive, there are rules that exist within the confines of that industry. Now, what we're not saying on the side is that we know it all. Because there are people like you who are going to pop up and be like, I'm going to break the rules. Now, when you break the rules and make it successful, commercially successful, you now add to the book that we didn't have, and now the book keeps expanding. So the long and short of it is, the industry isn't final. The industry doesn't know. Like,
okay.
So then you're agreeing
Okay.
No. You just agreed with us.
Debate like after.
Yeah, let's continue after.
Yeah. Okay. Because we need to end this interview. And I want to just conclude back to the icon. What is it like for? I'll start with you, Wezi, working with Ballad Zulu, because obviously he's been around for a very, very long time.
He's been ignoring that statement for a long
That's
time.
her
From the beginning.
grandfather.
Really?
Yes.
Like, no, literally?
Yes.
I'm only knowing this now. Really?
I've been saying it for like...
Oh, really?
And we've been saying.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
No, okay, so what is it like working with your grandfather?
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah, but he's a busy guy.
Yeah.
Genuinely busy.
Really?
He doesn't.
Oh, no, you said I need to call you because,
Yeah.
okay, I get it. Okay.
He's a busy guy. He doesn't pretend to be busy. He's a busy guy. He's an academician. He's got all the PhDs that a man can get. And he's very hands-on. Like, he's a very passionate person. So working with him has been, for me, an opportunity. I won't lie to you. It was never about like being on the icon, because I would have supported the icon either way. Honestly speaking, the level of talent that's there, I would have supported it either way. But for me, the biggest motivation was that I could get to spend time with him.
Oh, yeah.
That, for me, I won't
nice.
even lie to you, because money can't buy that. Money, there's
So-
no amount of money. So for me, it's just about he's busy. You know what I mean? Like, I won't go to a concert even if I have the tickets. I won't go to a concert with him. He's busy. But he has to be at the icon. So we are just like, oh, we are getting paid to chill.
So wait, how are you related? Is it to your mom?
No, my maternal grandmother is his sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm guessing it's like a young brother.
She was older. She's
Okay,
she's late,
okay.
yeah.
All right. And so rest in peace. What is it like for you, Ruth? Especially that she also have the
To work
interest in
with
the
Ballad
vocals.
Zulu.
Sorry, you said.
Yeah, what is it like working with Ballad Zulu and him being on the team, and David too? Because yeah, that should be an interesting one.
Right.
And we can also add Wezi.
I grew up listening to Ballad Zulu music on ZNBC TV.
Yeah.
I would be looking forward each time when his songs would come on, and it's just been amazing working with him. He's an amazing person, actually, and he's very professional. He's got the knowledge, and it's amazing for me to just be around someone like that. He's a legend.
Yeah.
Wezi is one of my friends from way back. I've been so happy to have her on board, and working with her has been so much fun. Working with David is annoying. Kidding.
So true.
He's okay. Like
We'll just get that part and use
it's-
it.
I think you should, yes.
Just get that part.
No, but it's
No,
true. You don't have
it's,
to say joking. You're not kidding. It's true.
it's nice
It's
to work
real.
with
It's our
David. He's
reality.
very-
He's annoying.
He's very.
Annoying.
I love how he works
You
and
should
how,
use that
how
for,
he
you should
thinks.
use that for that promo.
Guys, am I going to finish
Sorry,
this sentence?
Sorry.
What did you say?
It's annoying.
Okay, no,
Just
working with
amplifying
David
that.
is very nice. He's very professional. He's very straightforward. He gets things done, and that's something I like about him. So yeah.
And I wish Ballad was here. Ballad Zulu, he's a legend.
You
So
would have been
put some
bragging
respect.
about me. We are related.
Because I
Also,
yeah.
I have to mention this: working with people that recognize Iwenchan.
No, I'm just annoyed about the related thing.
Yeah.
You should use that
It's
as a...
it's so fulfilling and satisfying working with people who have the same level of understanding, if not more, of music. Like, just us working together and being able to
Yeah.
communicate
Oh, yeah.
on that level is so
Like, we communicate with
good.
our eyes on the
yes,
panel.
like when I just say they know. You know what I mean?
That's
It's
a deep connection.
great.
The reason why I wanted Mr. Ballad Zulu to be here, I wanted to find out, because a lot of criticism or reaction came through saying, I mean, he's too mature for the panel of judges, especially the first, when you were the three of you. How did you even settle on having him on board? Because a lot of people questioned, I wondered how he even agreed to do that.
I don't agree with too mature, because you need maturity to be able to make some of the decisions we're making. So there's a thing where, because it's not on TV and it's not like your conventional way of watching and consuming content, people think it's like, oh, it's not, no, like this is a serious thing. Like someone whose life will change. What we're saying we'll give. So you needed maturity from someone like Ballad Zulu to come and be like, because he's been making music before any of us could hum. Do you know what I mean? So he's seen music come from one place and seen it grow to another place. So if there's anyone who has the knowledge and history of Zambian music to be able to understand that this is an icon, it is Ballad. Okay. So to get him to agree to that, I think he's one of the smartest people I've met. Honestly, and I'm not just saying that because of the show. Like, he's genuinely very smart.
In our family, we are very smart people.
No, but Wesley's smart too. Wezi is smart too. Wezi is smart. So,
She's related. Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's keep it there. I'm joking.
But
no,
what do you
serious.
mean that it's not on
so,
TV?
Yeah, because like a lot of people, it's a
is
digital
on TV
show.
too.
Yes, but then the TV is like replays and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's in
Yes.
it starts on
This
on
is
digital.
my life every day.
Okay, we do this. This is normal. So to answer your question, Chimweka,
Yes.
Sorry.
Finally.
how did we get to have ballads? So when the show was being conceptualized, one of the visions that I had, which I always have with any of the productions, is I genuinely wanted new faces. And when I say new faces within the realm of what I was trying to achieve. Okay? So we looked at all the hosts. We looked at the Chimwekas of the world, the people who are like journalists and hosts. And we said, no, that becomes typical. So then we looked at Simon, who was a suggestion. Someone said, well, why not Simon? He's always doing these things on social media. We're like, that's brilliant, because no one expects Simon to be that good. And we sort of studied him and understood. I picked up the phone, called Simon, and Simon said, done. I'm there. And I think he came within 24 hours, and it was all done. Then we looked for like legends, and you know, Zambia has a lot of legends. You have your Danny, you have your Exiles, you have your JKs. Like the list is endless.
Yeah.
Ballad, having already done, because I think he did the talent show that you were on, the Talent Chapter Z.
I think so, yeah.
And back then he was me. He was the mean judge. You know? So I was like, he has enough musical knowledge and he has enough talent show experience to be the mature guy to bring us all together. Then there was the notion of, do we start with Ruth Ronnie or do we start with Mrs. Mulenga? And it made sense to start with Mrs. Mulenga because at that point of the show, we were going to get the good, the bad, and the ugly. And, you know, I love Ruth, but Ruth has very low tolerance for nonsense. So there would have been two mean judges if Ruth was at the beginning of this thing. Because, like, she literally can't hold it in. She's like, what are you doing?
being
She doesn't
serious?
say it verbally. Her face.
Her face shows
Okay,
it. So
listen.
we needed, hold on,
face,
let me land,
yes.
let me land. So we needed someone who would see talent coming in from purely a perspective of, do I like you? Will people vibe to you or not? Okay, and she made sense. So as the show evolved, we needed to grow and evolve with the show. So it was always a grand plan to have all these people involved, and it works. Like in a crazy way, it works. I mean, I didn't even know that Wezi and Ballad were related. I didn't. I just thought Wezi's amazing. So when she came on, and I know how great she is, and then I realized she's related to Ballad, I'm like, this is a brilliant story. Do you know what I mean? This is great TV.
Milking
Let's milk
We're
it.
not
So
hearing
now
the end of
their
it.
teams, we have Wezi and Ballad moving forward have formed a team that have their own contestants and their team relatives, right? And then me and Ruth have our own team called Team Relatable. So of the 20 contestants left, we have 10, they have 10. People are going to vote for the best one. We think we'll crush them.
That was a good name selection. But hey, you spoke of Mrs. Kidis Mlenga. Why is she no longer on the show?
Her time was up.
Like what? Contract is done? What do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, you book people for a specific time to do it.
But I'm sure there's always an option to renew.
Yeah, of course.
So who did you want to renew?
We will never know, because contracts are personal. I'm not here asking you for your contract, Chimweka.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask me, oh, okay, we're done. I mean, I didn't want to go back to Diamond TV.
You didn't? That's what happened?
We are on Diamond TV.
See how I threw him off. You should get me to do the interview. And then what happened, Chimweka?
Oh, yeah?
Wow.
And then what happened?
So meaning y'all never tell us.
With the contract.
I
I mean,
mean, like why she's not on the show?
no, but like generally, her time on the show came to an end
But why couldn't it be extended?
because Ruth had to come and do her job.
Ah, okay.
Ruth Wezi had to come and do their job.
Okay. But I think people are happy with the selection of guests.
Are they? Tell us in the comment section.
Judges, not guests.
Well, the guests on my show.
Oh, okay.
Nice save.
Right?
Nice save.
No, but thanks to all of you for coming through. We wish you all the best and we continue following. I wonder.
By the way,
who's-
season
who's-
2 is coming, so you must audition. I hear
Yeah,
you can sing.
oh yeah. I want to do a rap.
Yeah, I'm
Now
Can I audition now?
you've dropped the cat out of the bag.
Sorry,
People
sorry.
thought this show was going to be cancelled because they went on a ride. You should let them think it's cancelled.
Okay, so in case we have season 2, Chimweka, please do show up. I think he's very talented.
You
Are you
do?
being serious?
Yes, Chimweka's
Chimweka, you sing?
Yes. He's a
I know I can
rapper.
rap. I can
He's a
rap.
Oh, you rap?
You want me to give you a
Yes,
freestyle?
if you don't
Yeah,
mind.
yeah, please.
And then you're,
And then
remember,
we'll
you're
judge
doing it in front
Yeah,
of the icon
and then
judges.
we'll judge you.
Best
Let's
of luck.
go. Let's go.
Okay.
Chimweka, no. So no from me.
Relax,
You will never make it in
please.
this life or the next.
I actually want to hear this.
No,
Wanna
go
hear
ahead.
this?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm out here in this rap thing. I'm like a baby. I'm here with David, Ruth, Ronnie, and Wezi.
Oh,
Freestyle.
okay.
If you want to turn me down, I can fight on. Because trust me, brother, I'm the real icon. Drop smile.
Oh, that was
Next
good.
week, Sunday.
I'm shocked.
That was dope. Man, that was dope.
No, that was good.
I was
That
prepared to say my famous line. I was prepared. I was so prepared to say my famous line. I was so prepared. That was dope.